Hi everyone, Dave Bradshaw here alongside RevPro owner and booker Andy Quildan. This is going to be interesting because I've got zero voice. I don't think you've got much voice after Uprising. We've just come off the air here at the Vale Arena in Cardiff. Wow, an incredible 10-match card of action. Where to start? Well, where else can we start other than with the main event where Shah Samuels' title reign ended at the hands of Jay Joshua. Obviously, congratulations to Jay Joshua, but I do want to start by talking about that remarkable 4-month run of Shah Samuels.
Well, absolutely. Listen, I'll do the heavy loading here, Dave. You give your voice a rest.
Thanks, mate. Thank you.
So yeah, what a fantastic night. And like you say, a night for Jay Joshua, a homecoming right here in Cardiff. The people wanted it. Shah Samuels said he fights best with his back against the wall. He's back against the wall. His back was well and truly against the wall tonight, and he fought one hell of a fight. And it was a great professional wrestling match. And like you say, Dave, like what a run this has been for Shah Samuels. What a resurgence this year has been for Shah Samuels. And I feel like if you were to look at where we were at the close of last year to where we're at now, and you look at Shah Samuels' body of work this year, and you look at the way Shah Samuels was such an underdog going into that heavyweight championship clash, going into a Revolution Rumble, you know, even going into that contenders tournament. That's where it all started, all spawned from that contenders tournament. But what Shah Samuels proved is that form's temporary and class is permanent, because yes, there was a great deal of time between those championship reigns, but Shah Samuels still had that championship class. And we saw the old East End Butcher come out in full force. We've seen it over the past couple of weeks, and even more so tonight as Shah Samuels walked into the proverbial lion's den. So listen, I want to, as well as obviously congratulating Jay Joshua, I want to congratulate Shah Samuels on an excellent championship reign, because he's really the personification of what professional wrestling is all about. And like, you should never, ever, ever write anyone off. And Shah Samuels is someone who has, he's proved his critics wrong. He's proved his doubters wrong again and again and again. And that's what this championship reign has really all been about, you know. And to me, it just further highlights the strength and depth that we have in our division, you know, and someone like Shah Samuels is ready to step up to the plate, boom, at a moment's notice. And he's really a young veteran of the scene. And listen, Shah was throwing around that retirement word at the start of the piece. And I'm just so glad that Shah made the decision to stick with this, that Shah made the decision to keep doing the thing he loved, because really you could see the more and more success he found, the more passionate he got. And the more passionate he got, just the more exciting those performances were. And you could feel the energy from the crowd. And, you know, look, it's been a year of, I'm going to say, look, I'll probably get heat from this from one person, but I think it's been a year of unlikely title challengers, because few people expected TK Cooper would get that run at the, just having a look around just to make sure.
He's been ejected from the building today.
After the events of tonight, yeah. But people didn't expect TK Cooper would get that run towards a championship. But Shah Samuels not only got that run, he achieved the goal of becoming undisputed British heavyweight champion 12 and a half years after losing that championship gold for the first time. The first champion here in Revolution Pro Wrestling history. He had another run, and what a run it was. So many moments. You've talked about championship matches. You've got the Luke Jacobs, Michael Oku defenses. Of course, Jay Joshua live in Leon. What a contest that was. He's held that championship with pride. And look, I can't say enough good things about Shah Samuels, and I hope that these last 4 or 5 months for Shah have almost rejuvenated him and made him realize he can still do this at the top level, because he's been doing it consistently week in, week out. And let's not forget the schedule. The schedule right now as undisputed British heavyweight champion is so much harder than it was 13 years ago when we started RevPro, right? The schedule now is so much harder because we're week in, week out. And we talk about the weight of responsibility at that undisputed British heavyweight championship. Many people have tried to handle and shoulder that weight of responsibility and fails. And Michael Oku always talks about it. Will Ospreay always talks about it. You know, I remember those words from Will Ospreay when he was holding that championship. I'm so tired. They were his words. And listen, right now, Jay Joshua is about to find out firsthand. And this is what we're going to find out now. Is Jay Joshua the real deal? All evidence up to this point suggests he is. But the championship will be the defining moment in this run of Jay Joshua.
Well, he's already finding out what a target he has on his back. We saw at the end of the shows, we saw TK Cooper jumping in from the crowd, but also Michael Oku, who earlier in the night had beaten Connor Mills. Also, one called Manders, who had beaten RKJ earlier in the night as well. So already the challenge is starting to stack up for Jay Joshua.
Yeah, what a chaotic end to the night as well, because we saw, you saw one called Manders answer that challenge, and TK Cooper jumped around. He must have been leeching around all night long, waiting for that moment. And did you see the look on TK Cooper's face when Michael Oku walked between the pair and confronted Jay Joshua? Jay Joshua's about to find out that life is very, very lonely at the top. He has now got a huge target on his back. It's not just the people in Revolution Pro Wrestling that are going to be targeting him. It's the people from around the wrestling world, because this is, look, people feel like, look, my job is a wrestling promoter. Right? I'm here to promote Revolution Pro Wrestling. I'm here to send a message. And I'm sorry if I'm shouting, because it's very loud in this room, and I'm hoping that you're going to hear what we have to say, because I think it's quite important, right? The undisputed British Heavyweight Championship is the most prestigious championship gold in the whole of independent wrestling. It has been defended in the meccas of professional wrestling. We're talking at the Tokyo Dome. We're talking Arena Mexico. We're talking at Madison Square Garden. Obviously in London, it's been defended at the Copper Box Arena, soon to be the Wembley Arena. You know, it's been defended in countries. It's defended in France, Spain, Costa Rica, Germany. All these different countries this championship has been defended in. Look at the list of champions that have held that belt. Katsuyori Shibata, Zack Sabre Jr., Will Ospreay, the phenomenal AJ Styles. You know, a huge, and that's just a few. Look at Cage Match. Look at Wikipedia. See the full list, right? What a list of champions we've had. And Jay Joshua is now added to that list. He's added to that legacy. He's added to that history. And now he's got the weight of expectation on his shoulders. I said it in commentary. It's lucky for him they're very, very big shoulders, because his journey starts tonight.
Well, you want to talk about great champions, we've got to talk about the undisputed British women's champion. There's been criticism, will Mercedes Moné be a fighting champion? Well, she proved tonight that she is. She voluntarily put not one title, but 3 titles on the line against Rio. Another successful defense for Moné, who's going to go the full year now as champion. Excuse me, this voice is barely hanging on.
Embarrassing.
But
and you know it's going to be clipped as well, because this is about Mercedes Moné.
Right.
And everything we say about Mercedes Moné gets clipped, because that is the level of star that Mercedes Moné is. And that is the level of spotlight that Mercedes Moné brings to Revolution Pro Wrestling, brings to our women's division. And we're so thankful that she took the chance, that she risked it all. And she wanted to test free agency, and we're very thankful that obviously she's found a home in AEW, who's very supportive of her aspirations as trying to build up the women's division around her. And there's no doubt in my mind that each and every contest she's had here in Revolution Pro Wrestling, it's increased the spotlight on RevPro, it's increased the spotlight in our women's division, it's increased the spotlight on our on-demand service, which of course is www.revproondemand.com if you want to check out these great shows. And tonight was absolutely no different. She brought the very best out of Rio, and dare I say, Rio brought the very best out of her. What a match, and what a championship defense. She risked it all. She's a high roller, it seems. She put 3 championships on the line. Many people speculated that this was the end of the line for her and the momentum which she's been building, and there we are. So
she proved them wrong. I do want to talk briefly about the cruiserweight division. Obviously, first of all, Joe Lando, successful title defense, his first title defense in that 6-man scramble match this afternoon. Also, though, Nino Bryan, who's just 1 week removed from losing the undisputed British cruiserweight title, he had a chance to bounce back. What a performance he put in against the AEW national champion Ricochet.
Yeah, and look, Nino's proven it, hasn't he? Over the last few months, well, the last 12 months, he debuted in November, and he's just gone from strength to strength to strength. Nino Bryan, very much the real deal. And Nino Bryan has, he's made a believer out of so many people, including Ricochet tonight, who needed some nefarious means to defeat Nino. And on top of that, we saw You know, they say, what do they say? You don't tug on the cape of Superman and you don't wind up angry Xander Bryant, because that's what Ricochet did. And he learned a lesson firsthand. And Ricochet was fuming at the end of that contest from a treatment he received from Xander Bryant. But listen, the way he conducted himself there was not the Ricochet that I remember from all those years ago here in Revolution Pro Wrestling. You know, the fun-loving, happy Ricochet, who, of course, you can check out on RevProOnDemand.com. Getting them in today, the plugs. But yeah, that was a hell of a match. And yeah, Joe Lando, hell of a first championship defense. Is there dissension between Joe Lando and Danny Black? What part does Leighton Buzzard have to play? Like, I'm not sure if he... I wasn't there. I got kicked off the commentary unceremoniously, might I add. But Leighton Buzzard, did he reveal anything about...
He said he was scouting. That he was there to look at the talent in the cruiserweight division. So presumably Leighton Buzzard is thinking about getting involved in that division.
Well, that's interesting, because obviously we've seen him not having the success in the heavyweight division he might have liked. We've seen it take, you know, for example, one strike of one called Manders versus 5 strikes of his would be even playing. And I guess in the cruiserweight division, because he's got the power to mix it up with heavyweight, still in the cruiserweight division, that might favour Leighton a little bit more. So, look, it's going to be interesting to see where Leighton Buzzard's 2026 lies. It's one of those things whereby he didn't really have a home here in RevPro, did he? Because he was injured, he came back. Ricky Knight Jr. will tell you who scared him off. And then he's come back after an extended stay in Japan, and he's really struggled to find his footing of where he belongs. And it looks like maybe the cruiserweight division could provide some answers for us.
Well, we're talking about what 2026 holds for the cruiserweight division. Let's talk about what 2026 holds for RevPro overall. Obviously, we know we're on the road to Wembley, August 29th at Wembley Arena for our 14-year anniversary, but lots more highlights as well next year.
Well, we would absolutely be going longer. We'd be talking about the rest of the show, but his voice can't handle it. So yeah, let's get into the plot. But listen, 2026 is going to be the biggest year in Revolution Pro Wrestling history. I think Michael Oku said 31 shows we've already announced across 2026. We're not even close to being done announcing shows. So watch out over the next few days as we announce more and more shows. Make sure you keep that bank holiday free, May the 24th as well, because we have got a huge show to announce for you, something very exciting. It's certainly going to please some of our Northern fans. And we've got more news which is going to please our Northern fans as well coming up, which is really funny, right? Because when I say we've got news which is going to please our Northern fans, right? I'll announce a show which I perceive to be up north, and they'll be like, that's not up north enough, right? So I can't tell you if it is up north or not enough or not.
Is it north of Watford?
Yes.
It is up north.
It's north of, yeah.
It's up north.
Yeah. It's everywhere's up north to me because I live right down south. So the only time I go down south is when I go to Southampton, actually. So other than that, we're always up north in my books. But yeah, we got some stuff which will please those fans. Like I say, our mindset, our goal in this whole thing. And look, I hope more than anything, I say it time and time again, right, that with RevPro, our goal is to just spread the good word of pro wrestling at its best. Our goal is to try and get people excited for professional wrestling. Our goal is to try and convert one fan at a time to RevPro, to independent wrestling, to British wrestling. It's to show people that RevPro and British wrestling is something you can be proud of, and something you can take your friends to and enjoy. It's an intimate level that you don't get in kind of big arenas, but it's also a product of high enough quality that it's as good as, if not better, than the promotions that frequent these big arenas. All we're looking for is time and opportunity. We are ready, and we're going to prove that in 2026 and beyond. So I hope the wider world is taking notice. And if anyone sees this, who can open some doors for us, open those doors for us, because this is the time, it really is. We're going to continue to grow. We're going to continue to dare to dream. We're going to continue to take stupid risks. And we're just going to continue to try and spread positivity. My intention is only to produce good professional wrestling, right? And I will do everything in my power to kind of keep pushing this into the next level. I don't know I genuinely don't know how far we can take this, but we are going to keep going and going and going, and we're going to find out, right? And I always say, you don't compare yourself to your competitors. You don't compare yourself to those around you. You compare yourself to yourself yesterday. And I think if you look at the year 2025 we've had in Revolution Pro Wrestling, I think it's very safe to say we've ended the year a lot stronger than we started the year. And that's looking up and down the divisions. That's looking at the growth across the divisions. And that's looking across the growth across the towns. Have we had our knocks along the way? Absolutely. Have we had our setbacks on the way? Absolutely. But we have continued to smash it. And listen, I want to give a shout out as well to Leon Slater as well. He couldn't be here tonight. But listen, Leon Slater showed the wrestling world last night on Saturday night's main event exactly what he's all about.
Yeah.
And this is just the level in Revolution Pro Wrestling. That's what I'm saying. Leon Slater can step there into arguably the biggest wrestling promotion in the world, right? And he can step there and he can be seen on a level or a level above many of their top talents.
Mm-hmm.
And he is one of many here in Revolution Pro Wrestling. And that's why I'm preaching RevPro. That's why I'm preaching pro wrestling at its best, British wrestling, independent wrestling. That's what this is all about. You know, there's so many hidden gems here. There's so many people bubbling underneath, waiting to come through. We saw it with the New Wave lads earlier on today, right? There's so much more to come. And I just want to say thank you for everyone for joining us on this ride. This is the last time. This might be the last time Dave Bradshaw speaks full stop. We hope his voice makes a speedy recovery. But listen, this is the last time we're going to speak to you before Christmas. So I want to wish everyone a very happy Christmas from the bottom of my heart, because again, without you guys, we couldn't be doing what we're doing. So thank you so much for your support. We're going to continue to keep rolling. And don't forget, in that no man's land between Christmas and New Year, it ain't no man's land for RevPro, because we're going to be live in Southampton. Dave Bradshaw, voice dependent. Maybe, is it brandy? Is that good for voices?
I'm going to go drink some brandy. And
maybe some in your Christmas pudge, you can have
honey
some brandy.
and lemon, I think all of those things. Seasons beatings, though, 28th of December. Looking forward to that.
I hope so. I hope more than anything you get your voice back to Seasons beatings, because I know how much you've been looking forward to it.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. So, yeah, but in the meantime, Andy, thanks, as always, thank you for carrying me through that today.
Anytime. It's just a standard Sunday for me.
And a very Merry Christmas. We will see you 28th in Southampton.